Next herb is vitality. And for this herb, I selected ashwagandha. Now, there could be arguments made for ashwagandha as being ruled by Mars as well. I would consider ashwagandha to have some associations with Mars. It's very rich in iron. Mars rules iron. You take enough ashwagandha over a period of time, it will build your iron levels up. I actually had a client, or not a client, but a student the other day that I was talking to in a webinar. And she was saying that she had been taking ashwagandha powder for quite some time and went to her doctor, got some blood work, and the doctor was like, whoa, your iron levels are too high. Like, what are you doing? Like, how are you getting your iron levels up? And after talking for a while, I was like, oh, that ashwagandha powder, yeah, don't do like that for too long unless you need it, because it will increase your iron levels. So I think there's some arguments to be made for ashwagandha related to Mars, but I also like it for the sun, right? This is a nice, gently warming herb. It's not hot by any means, but it's gently warming. Withania somnifera, right? It's interesting in that it's an adaptogen, so it's used to help the body to adapt to stressors, physiological stressors, psychological stressors. As an adaptogen, classically it was defined as a rasāyana in Ayurvedic medicine, which is a rejuvenative tonic. We see that it has that effect, a rejuvenative effect on the nerves. It has a rejuvenative effect on the HPA axis, or the hypothalamic pituitary adrenal axis, which in some ways would be a little bit more of a case for Mars as well. But I like the solar aspect of ashwagandha because it's building of the vitality in a way that's not overly stimulating. If you were to take a whole bunch of like red Asian ginseng or rhodiola or eleutherococcus or even schisandra, if you take those herbs in really high amounts, they can be very, very stimulating. I like ashwagandha because it's actually a little bit calming. It's not, I don't really think of it as sedating by any means, but it does kind of get you on an even keel. And that really is the state of the sun, is like a vital, alert awakeness, but calm, that I think is the optimal, state of being to be in a lot of ways. So it's working on that core vitality. So the way I see ashwagandha is that it's working on the solar core vitality. And then through that, it has all these kind of trickle down effects on the Mars aspects of the body. So through working on vitality, then that's reflected in the HPA axis. It's reflected on building and nourishing the blood. It's reflected on as an immune tonic, right? Or we might think of it as an amphoteric, meaning that it has the intelligence to kind of alter or adjust the immune response to be essentially more optimal, right? So it can be utilized for people that are really weak and deficient with their immune system. I'm going to build them up. But it can also be useful for people that might have some degree of immunological excess, hypersensitivities, allergies, autoimmune type patterns, which more often than not, an autoimmune pattern, there's kind of aspects of deficient low immunity and aspects of excess immunity cycling between the two, or even sometimes happening at the same time. So ashwagandha, amphoteric, meaning it has this regulating effect on the immune function, which gives it a really excellent application for a lot of those immune dysregulated type patterns and conditions, which again, as I said earlier, can be an expression of weakened vitality. So I really love ashwagandha as an herb that, to me, working with it over time, and I've used ashwagandha myself personally quite a bit, so I feel like I've got a pretty good just personal experience with this herb used as a simple. And the way that I understand it is that it's just slowly nourishing and building up that vital strength that to me is very much so reflective of the sun. So love ashwagandha as a nice representative of the vitality aspect of the sun.